CryptoPunks, Bored Ape Yacht Club, and Beeple are among many others taking over the world of crypto, digital art, and pop culture generally. Critics will say these are just overpriced JPEGs. I think NFTs represent a larger shift in the art, culture, and technology of our world. Ultimately, I think this will impact the economics of the creator economy. In this video, you will learn what an NFT is, why an NFT is more than a JPEG, the major NFT token standards, and how NFTs will be used in the future. I'm Corey, and on this channel, I help you decode technology and innovation to grow your wealth on the journey to financial independence. So what's an NFT? NFT stands for non-fungible token, and this means that the tokens are not interchangeable. The creation of NFTs is called minting, and destroying NFTs is called burning. For example, a dollar bill is actually fungible, meaning that you can exchange one for another, and they both have the same properties and they're both treated the same. NFTs, on the other hand, have unique features and can be programmed, which gives them the ability to have customized economic rights or even rewards or prizes embedded into them. For example, a musician could give fans NFT rights to song royalties, or a football club could offer special prizes that only specific owners to specific NFTs can unlock. The first NFT was a piece of digital art called Quantum, which was minted May 3rd, 2014 by Kevin McCoy and his collaborator Anil Dash. Kevin and Anil's goals were simple, which was to put unique digital art on the blockchain. Back then, they called these monetized graphics, or monographs for short, which was made with code that changed shape and generated new forms on its own. Fast forward 7 years later, and in February 2021, we have Christie's Auction House, which sold the first NFT by Beeple. The NFT was called The First 5,000 Days, and according to Christie's, it comprised every single individual image from Beeple's first 5,000 days creating digital art. For further historical context, Christie's is one of the oldest auction houses in the world, founded by James Christie in 1766 in England. Yes, we're talking old money, which is the upper echelon of high society. Also, Bill Gates once won the auction for the Codex Leicester at Christie's. This is the original collection of scientific writings of Leonardo da Vinci from 1510, and back in 1994, Bill Gates actually paid $30 million for it, and it was the most expensive book ever sold. So what makes an NFT different from a JPEG? Although art is what NFTs are used for now, NFTs go beyond just art, and this is what has the world all abuzz. For example, NFTs allow you to link the digital world with other digital items like a game or a song, or something in the physical world with ownership and economic rights, such as music or film royalties. And this is a breakthrough combined with verifiable ownership using the blockchain. This is what allows you to turn a simple JPEG into something that has physical and digital scarcity. A key area where I think we will see NFTs is with professional sports, and not just game cards. For example, a fan could buy a specific NFT required to enter a football stadium instead of a ticket. And this NFT would be scanned and, for example, allow them to sit at seat number 2 on the 10-yard line and access exclusive in-game rewards, such as when a player scores a touchdown or the goal on a soccer team. And this would allow the NFTs to really tie specific in-game events and digital scarcity tied to a particular person who holds the particular NFT for that specific event at a point in time. So what are the major NFT standards? First, let's get the jargon out of the way. All smart contracts are based on the Ethereum request for comment standard. This means that all tokens on Ethereum are built on the same technical standards for implementing smart contracts. For NFTs, they use a few different standards which we'll go over, and that's ERC 721, ERC 998, ERC 1155, and there's a bonus here, IPFS, which is the Interplanetary File System, which we'll get to at the end. ERC 721 was the first popularized NFT token standard, and the idea being that any token compatible with the Ethereum blockchain using ERC 721 will work with other Ethereum compatible blockchains. ERC 721 NFTs contain mapping of unique identifiers inside of the NFT that represents a single asset. And this allows you, the owner, to easily track the NFT and creates a public trail of ownership. ERC 721 also provides a standard safe transfer, and this means that NFT transfers can only be initiated by a person that owns the NFT, a person that has provided the address of the NFT, or an authorized party on behalf of the owner of the NFT. So in order to authorize an operator, a person must set the approved address. This is critical for decentralization to allow for auctions like in the Christie's example and sales like we see with Beeple. ERC 998 automatically incorporates all of the functionality of ERC 721 and extends it to allow NFTs to own other NFTs and ERC20 tokens. This unique design will allow a user to create a portfolio of digital assets all tied to the same NFT. This is also called stacking. Next, we have ERC 1155, which is another popular NFT standard. This was created by Enjin and is also an official NFT token standard. This standard allows for multi-asset tokens to be created and used, which means you can have both a non-fungible NFT and a fungible ERC20 token on the same NFT. So for example, a non-fungible item would be, let's say, the first edition of a Michael Jordan basketball card. And a fungible item would be, let's say, an Ethereum token itself. And you can combine both of them, and both assets can actually sit on an ERC 1155 token. ERC 1155 also uses the Ethereum network, which ensures the tokens developed using these standards are all going to be secure and compatible with one another, and all will work on the Ethereum blockchain. While ERC 1155 also supports the creation of multiple assets, it also allows developers to build escrow, atomic swaps of multiple tokens, and it eliminates the requirement to approve individual token contracts. So it allows the same smart contract, as I said earlier, to hold a fungible token and a non-fungible token. Finally, we have the interplanetary file system. While blockchain technology allows unique digital verifiability, blockchains are not optimized for storing large quantities of actual data. And IPFS is a decentralized file storage protocol that can be integrated with the NFT minting process. And this acts like a file system or a directory on your computer at home, for example, or on your smartphone, so that you can go back and find exactly where files are placed. The reason that this is important is because we have so much development in the blockchain. If there's a change, and let's say Ethereum, for example, when it moves to Ethereum 2.0, or let's say you want to move your NFT to Solana or Polkadot or some other blockchain, well, the risk you might run is that that NFT would no longer function on that other blockchain. IPFS steps in to say that regardless of where the NFT may move in the future as far as being ported to new blockchains, the data stored on the NFT can be pointed back to the same directory, and this directory will persist over time. That way, if you spend $10,000, $20,000, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars for these NFTs, you don't have to worry that the item that you bought will no longer be usable or even useful in the next 2 to 3 years because of the changes in technology. IPFS is the protocol that allows this data to be stored over time and travel as the blockchain ecosystem develops. So what will NFTs be used for in the future? November of this year, we'll get Asia's first NFT film, and it's actually a film called Lockdown. As of today, the release plan is to offer 5 limited edition NFTs in October 2021, prior to the traditional release of the film in November. The NFT tickets will also be made available to the public in Hong Kong and in the UK. I can already imagine the next Marvel movie with limited edition NFTs geolocated in different parts of the world, with collectors clamoring to get their hands on them. Or you could see a scenario where specific NFTs in specific parts of the world would allow users to attend local pop-up events. Disney, you should give me a call. I have some ideas. If you stuck around this long, thank you, I really appreciate it. As a bonus, we just learned that one of hip-hop's biggest icons, Calvin Broadus, also known as Snoop Dogg, is actually a prolific NFT collector, going by the name Kazomo Medici, and he actually owns millions of highly sought-after NFTs. Join me on the path to decoding technology and innovation to grow your wealth on the journey to financial independence. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time.